Let's say you just rode your first big coaster and conquered your fears of roller coasters. Now you want to be a coaster enthusiast. One of the characteristics of a coaster enthusiast is that they know a lot about roller coasters. This video is a good place to start.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here and roller coasters are what you're into, then please consider subscribing for content all about roller coasters. This video is a part of a developing playlist I'm making about videos for new enthusiasts. The videos that I made so far will appear in that playlist. Also, I might be going through this fast, so if it's too fast for you, you can either rewind or ask me a question down in the comments. So first I want to clarify what actually is a roller coaster. A roller coaster consists of two main parts, a track and a train. After using something for potential energy like a lift hill or a launch, most roller coasters are controlled by gravity. They also coast along the track. So log flumes, river rapids, most dark rides, and Larson super loops are not coasters. Coaster enthusiasts keep track of this thing called a coaster count, which is basically the number of roller coasters you've ridden. This doesn't count the number of rides you've had on one coaster, it's how many different roller coasters you've ridden. Your coaster count doesn't define you as an enthusiast, but it's good to ride as many coasters as possible to form opinions on them. The trains on a roller coaster are stuck to the track by using multiple sets of wheels. These wheels can be found on top, under, or to the side of the track. Most roller coasters have rails on the outside of the track, but some roller coasters have rails inside the track. Roller coasters are separated into three main types: wooden, steel, and hybrid. Steel coasters have many minor categories like launch coasters, wing coasters, inverted coasters, looping coasters, dive coasters, and more. Steel coasters tend to be more smooth and they could do more maneuvers because of the more flexible track type. Wooden coasters are also separated into categories like out and back, twister, and prefabricated wooden coasters. Wooden coasters have an out-of-control feeling, and when someone thinks of a stereotypical roller coaster, they probably think of wooden coasters. Wooden coasters also try to have head choppers, where they make it feel like your head will get cut off by one of the wooden supports above you, but you don't actually touch it. Hybrid coasters have steel track and wooden supports, or they can have wooden track and steel supports. Roller coasters are also separated into categories based on their height. Coasters that are between 100 to 199 feet in height are unofficially called mega coasters. Coasters that are in between 200 to 299 feet are called hypercoasters. The world's first hypercoaster is Magnum XL 200 at Cedar Point in 1989. Coasters that are in between 300 to 399 feet are called giga coasters. The world's first giga coaster is Millennium Force at Cedar Point in 2000. Coasters that are 400 to 499 feet in height are called strata coasters. Only two are operating. Top Thrill Dragster at Cedar Point is the world's first strata coaster, and King the Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure is currently the world's tallest coaster. Any coaster above 500 feet are unofficially called terra coasters or polar coasters. But no polar coaster has been built as of February of 2019. And if you can't tell already, Cedar Point likes to break records. Why is there so much noise in the background? All roller coasters are made by a manufacturer. Some notable ones include Intamin. This company made the tallest and fastest coasters in the world. They make intense roller coasters and famous ones. Bolliger and Mabillard, or B&M, makes very popular rides with one distinct track. Is it Bolliger, and Mabillard? Rocky Mountain Construction, or RMC, makes mostly hybrid coasters, and they are known to transform old wooden coasters into smooth steel hybrid coasters. If you want to know more on coaster manufacturers, I made a video discussing my top 10 coaster manufacturers. I'll put it up in a card right now. Different types of roller coasters and different coaster manufacturers have their own style of restraints. The two main types of restraints are lap bars and over-the-shoulder restraints. Most members of the general public think that over-the-shoulder restraints make a ride feel safer, but they are just as safe as lap bars. Most enthusiasts prefer lap bars to over-the-shoulder restraints because it gives them more freedom, allowing enthusiasts to experience airtime at its full potential. If you don't know what airtime is, we'll get to that later. If you're a new enthusiast, you probably know about the Disney parks, but that's not all. If you live in America, the 5 main park chains are Cedar Fair, Six Flags, Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld. There are currently 19 Six Flags parks, including Six Flags Magic Mountain in California. There are 11 Cedar Fair parks, including Cedar Point in Ohio. There are 6 SeaWorld parks, including 2 Busch Gardens parks and 3 SeaWorld parks. In America, some popular parks include Cedar Point, Six Flags Magic Mountain, Hershey Park, Six Flags Great Adventure, Dollywood, and Disney World. If you live in Europe, some of the destination parks include Europa Park, Phantasialand, Disneyland Paris, PortAventura, Alton Towers, Energylandia, and Efteling. Most enthusiasts have this thing called a home park, which is basically the theme park that is closest to where you live. I, unfortunately, don't have one. There are many record-breaking coasters out there, but I will tell you the most notable ones. The tallest coaster is, of course, King Dakar at Six Flags Great Adventure. The fastest roller coaster is Formula Rossa in Ferrari World. The fastest acceleration, or the most intense launch on a roller coaster, is Dododompa at Fuji-Q Highland. The longest coaster in the world is Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spaland. The most inversions on a roller coaster is the Smiler at Alton Towers. The steepest coaster will be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shellraiser at the American Dream Mall. That will be opening in 2019. The tallest wooden coaster in the world is currently a tie between T-Express at Everland and Wildfire at Kolmarden. The most airtime on any roller coaster is Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. And the highest G-force on a coaster is Tower of Terror at Gold Reef City. If you are confused on what G-force is, we'll get to that later. But every coaster enthusiast knows that stats are not what makes the world's best coasters. Everyone has their favorite coasters they've ridden, but I'm gonna go over popular contenders for the best coaster in the world. Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion, El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, Lightning Rod at Dollywood, DC Rivals Hypercoaster at Warner Brothers Movie World, Wildfire at Kolmarden, Expedition G-Force at Holiday Park, Fury 325 at Carowinds, the Schwertes Kernon at Hansa Park, and The Voyage at Holiday World. Everyone is entitled to their own opinions on what they think are their favorite coasters they've ridden. When you ride a coaster, there are many factors that affect how good the ride is. The feeling of being pushed down into your seat is called positive G-forces. You can feel positive G-forces on the bottom of drops, loops, and other points of a roller coaster where it's cresting up. If a coaster has a lot of strong positive G-forces, the coaster is said to be forceful. The feeling of lifting out of your seat is called airtime. There are 2 types of airtime: floater airtime, where you feel that stomach feeling, and ejector airtime, where you're physically lifted out of your seat, but of course you won't fly out. You can experience airtime when you crest over drops and hills. You can also experience weightlessness when you go through an inversion slowly. However, this is called hang time. The feeling of being pushed to the side of your seat is called laterals. You probably can feel laterals every day when you're driving in your car. The feeling of being pushed to the back of your seat is called acceleration Gs. When a launch on a coaster has a high acceleration, you feel more acceleration Gs. If any G-force is high, or there are many types of G-force being put on you, that makes a coaster intense. Most coaster enthusiasts look at intensity as the main aspect of a good coaster. Smoothness is another thing that affects how good a coaster is. Good coasters tend to be smooth and intense, while bad coasters can be rough and jerky. Bad coasters often have over-the-shoulder restraints on them, which induces headbanging when your head gets slammed to the side of the restraint. The Vekoma SLC is an inverted coaster model cloned across the world and famous for being bad rides. Clones are coasters that may or may not have the exact name or theme, but have the same exact layout. On most roller coasters, turns are tilted a little. These are called bank turns, and they are tilted so that laterals are converted into positive G-forces. Brake runs are at the end of a coaster, and they slow down the train before bringing it into the station. A brake run in the middle of the ride is called a mid-course brake run. This is to slow down the train a little bit and helps with block sections. I will be talking about block sections later. Drive tires or guide wheels are tires in the middle of the train to guide the train slowly. Camelbacks are a series of giant hills that provide airtime. Bunny hops are small airtime hills providing a quick pop of airtime. A helix is a certain section of a ride where a train does a bank turn in a circle either going upward or downward. An inversion is any point on a roller coaster where the track is inverted in any way. So vertical loops, zero-G rolls, and corkscrews are all inversions. And of course, there's much more elements than that. An overbanked turn is where the track is banked above 90 degrees but not fully upside down. Trains can be pulled up a lift hill by using either a chain, a cable, or even a launch system. There are many different types of launches, and they have varying intensity. The more gradual launch types are magnetic LIM and LSM launches. These use magnetics to push the train forward. More intense launches are hydraulic launches and compressed air launches. Hydraulic launches are a complex system that uses a cable and hydraulics to pull the train forward. Air launches are the most intense launches, and these use compressed air to push the train at a high acceleration. And last but not least, roller coasters and amusement parks are very safe attractions and places. The chances of you getting injured at an amusement park are 1 in 24 million. You are way more likely to die driving to an amusement park than dying at the amusement park. Getting stuck on lift hills are to stop the train for reasons such as someone having their phone out on the ride, or someone's restraint isn't pushed all the way down, or simply because of blocked sections. Lift hills have this thing called an anti-rollback device. Anti-rollback devices are also what makes lift hills have their click-clack sound. Blocked sections are certain sections of a roller coaster where only one train can go through it. They are separated by block breaks, and these prevent the trains from crashing into each other. Roller coasters are inspected and tested every day to make sure your ride experience will be amazing. A breakdown is when a ride is not open due to mechanical issues. Roller coasters can be standing but not operating because the ride might be down due to mechanical issues. But even still, roller coasters are very safe. So I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope you enjoy being a coaster enthusiast. Try your best to ride as many coasters as possible to form opinions on them. Try to learn as much as you can about roller coasters, no matter if it's facts or people's opinions. There are great coaster YouTubers that you can find many facts about roller coasters from. Also, there are great websites. Coaster Force gives you some great info about types, manufacturers, and even record breakers and accidents. RCDB, or the Roller Coaster Database, is a great site if you want to learn about the statistics of each roller coaster. And I bet there are tons of great sites out there. If you can, join a coaster club. There are very nice people in them, and they hold special events at parks. Parks can offer ERT, or extra ride time. When you go to an amusement park, you should try taking as many pictures and videos as possible. If you can, make an Instagram account to post all of your pictures, and if you're feeling like it, start a YouTube channel even. So if you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like. I really appreciate it. And if you're new here and roller coasters are what you're into, then please consider subscribing for content all about roller coasters. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.